This is our Week 14 NFL reaction show. Going to talk about what my thoughts were on all these games that happened on Sunday, and we didn't have one last week because I fell asleep, and luckily I did not do that this time. I was close though. So before I begin, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video. Visit walterfootball.com for tons of content. We have NFL picks against the spread. We hit our two top plays today with the Rams and the Jaguars. We have 2026 and 2027 NFL mock drafts. We have NFL power rankings. We have grades for every signing and every trade and every coach firing and eventually every coach firing. So check that out at walterfootball.com. All right. So I figure we're going to start. I usually start like the earliest games and finish late. I figure start with the most recent game and work our way backward. So let me know if you think that's a better idea or not in the comments below. But yeah, we had Texans 20, Chiefs 10 on Sunday Night Football. This was a disaster for the Chiefs. They were already without their top two tackles and their top guard, and then they lost their next tackle on the first play from scrimmage. So they didn't score anything in the first half. They did miss a field goal, doink off the right upright, but still they couldn't get anything going. Their defense was awesome in the second half, and they eventually tied the game. I don't know what Andy Reid was doing on that 4th and 1 at his own 31. It was a tie game. It sounded like he was trailing, and it's not like Houston's offense was unstoppable. Houston did nothing in the second half offensively. Stroud was 0 of 8 to start the second half, and for some reason, Reid just wanted to go for it. I was joking with Evan via text. We were texting back and forth the entire game. I was like, Andy Reid knew the restaurant was closing, so he wanted to get out of there like very quickly. It's like the only thing that made sense. It was like it's a cheap joke. It's obviously low hanging fruit to make fun of Reid and stuff, but I don't get like there's no explanation for it. Like, why would you go for it 4th and 1 on your own 31 when A, your offense has been stagnant all night, and B, your defense is outplaying the other offense, and it's a tie game. There's no need to go for it. It's so stupid. So that is the I think that's it for the Chiefs season. I'd be shocked if they do anything. They need a lot of help to make the playoffs. It's not impossible, but it doesn't seem likely at all. Yeah, it looks like the Chiefs will be watching the playoffs from home, and for the first time in Patrick Mahomes' career, he's not going to be in the AFC Championship or further, which is pretty crazy. All right, the next game, the most least recent game, is the Rams 45, Cardinals 17. This was a great win for us. We had 5 units on the Rams, and we also had the Rams minus 20.5 alt line at plus 330. So congrats to anyone who followed that one. I thought this was such an easy, obvious play. Like, not only did we have matchup edges all over the field with the Rams, we also had a great spot where the Rams are coming off a loss against the Panthers. And the only thing that went wrong here is that we bet Jacoby Brissett over 289.5 passing yards at halftime. He looked like he was going to get there, but he came just a bit short. Really, it was just the Rams suffocating him. It was a great defensive performance by the Rams, and I think that they are definitely the best team in the NFL, despite their loss to the Panthers. I mentioned this a few times during the week. It kind of reminded me of like maybe the Eagles lost to the Redskins late last year, where Devontae Smith dropped the pass and they lost, and then they came back and squashed the Cowboys. The Rams did the same exact thing here, and the Eagles ended up being the best team. They won the Super Bowl. I think the Rams should be considered the favorites to win the Super Bowl, and they are in sportsbooks. So not like saying anything crazy here, but I do expect the Rams to win the Super Bowl unless something goes terribly wrong for them. Like fluky turnovers in a game in the playoffs, or injuries and stuff like that. Here we go. Broncos 24, Raiders. Actually, this is 17. And I didn't. I'd like to say I didn't change that on purpose, but I wrote that up already. 24-14 when I was already beginning to analyze the game, and lo and behold, we had a shady cover at the very end. With the Raiders kicking a field goal to get within 7 points. Obviously, the spread was anywhere between 7.5 and 8.5. And if you had the Broncos, my condolences. I didn't bet this game, so didn't really affect me either way. I just thought it was very, very shady circumstances. I saw that. I believe I think it was Dave Portnoy. I want to say Portnoy, who said whoever the officials were in this game should be in prison for what they did at the end, and Pete Carroll as well. I don't know. It's may not be rigged, but at the same time, it looks awfully rigged, especially given that it's in Las Vegas. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, if you had Denver, I'm sorry this happened to you. If you had the Raiders, well, congratulations, I guess. So yeah, this was just a very poor game for the Raiders, and really, the Broncos scored 24, and I don't think it was a great game for them. They got 7 points off of a Marvin Mims kickoff return, so they only scored 17 points against the Raiders defense. Which, once again, they scored 10 points the first time on a Thursday night. Now they score 17 offensive points here. Denver's 11-2, and they had the number 1 seed. They seem like a 6 seed to me. Like I'm looking forward to betting against them in the playoffs. I don't see them as a legitimate Super Bowl contender, despite the record. The next game is the Packers beating the Bears 28-21. Caleb Williams threw an awful pass into the end zone at the very end, just severely underthrown. Like the guy was open. Well, I'm not like completely open, but all he had to do was just air the ball out a little bit more over the defender. He would have had a touchdown. We would have gone to overtime, assuming the extra point was going to be converted. But Williams just was, he was short on the pass, and he had some nice throws in this game, but he had some bad ones as well, and that one at the end is going to sting. The Bears, I thought, played pretty decently. Otherwise, they got some good runs out of their running backs, and their defense wasn't all that great, but it wasn't terrible either. Jordan Love was fantastic at times. Christian Watson went nuts. It was cool to see him play well because he got injured against the Bears last year. So it was nice to see him rebound from that. But yeah, Packers have been pretty convincing lately, and they're playing better. They had some very shaky performances earlier in the year, like they lost to the Browns, they lost to the Panthers, they tied the Cowboys when CeeDee Lamb wasn't there. But they've been playing a lot better in the past 3 weeks, and so they could be a force come playoff time. Next one is what do we have here? Saints 24, Buccaneers 20. Condolences to those who had the Buccaneers in Survivor. I know a lot of people did in the Circa Million. Circa Survivor. Not that there were that many left. I think there were 46 people left, but I think more than half of them had the Buccaneers as their pick. So they are done. I actually had 5 entries remaining in the DraftKings Survivor, and I didn't pick Tampa in a single one. Now I did pick the Browns in one, so that was a loss. I actually took the Jaguars in another one, so it was a cool win. And then I had some Rams and some Seahawks mixed in. I think I had the Ravens too, so I might only have 3 remaining. But no, I thought that this was just a horrible spot for the Buccaneers. They had to play on Thursday, and also they already beat the Saints this year. They just were a no-show, kind of like they were in Week 18 against the Saints last year. It's the same exact spot, except that they, instead of a playoff game on the horizon, they had a Thursday game. So Tyler Shuck played well. Baker Mayfield did not. Mayfield looks injured. We'll see if that continues into Thursday. You just never know with these professional athletes. They're superhuman, and Mayfield could be 100% by Thursday, but by how he looked in this game, you would think that he wouldn't be. That wouldn't be the case. All right, so and then we move on to Bills 39, Bengals 34. It's probably the game of the day in the snow globe game where there's this crazy snow going around, and despite that, Joe Burrow was awesome. He was so good in the first half. The Bengals had a big lead at halftime. Josh Allen came back, and then the Bengals struck, and then James Cook fumbling, and so the Bengals had a chance to really end the game. And then you had that crazy interception by Benford. He took it back for 6. And then another tipped interception just did the Bengals in. And even at the end, they had a chance to just stop Josh Allen. They sacked him, had him at a 3rd and 15, and Allen ran for an 80-yard gain to clinch the victory. What an incredible game. It's a shame for the Bengals because now they seem like they're very unlikely to make the playoffs, whereas they had a chance if they won this game. But they're going to be fun to watch down the stretch. And the Bills look they look like the class of the AFC with the Chiefs. Just their season being over. The Ravens have a chance still, but they look toast. The Bills are rebounding well from that Texans loss, and I think you can make the case that they're the best team in the conference, despite them not having as good of a record as the Patriots and the Broncos. And we'll see them against the Patriots next week. Should be a fun game. Next one is the Jaguars 36, Colts 19. Condolences to Daniel Jones who got hurt. And I have to believe it was the byproduct of the fractured leg, because when you have an injury on one leg, you tend to rely more on the other leg, and I think that's probably what happened. It was a non-contact injury, so I could just see Jones just using the other leg more and just suffering the torn Achilles because of that, and it just sucks for him because he had such a great year for the most part, and yeah, now it's over, and the Colts have to move on. Anthony Richardson's been out for a long time. They don't know when he's going to come back, so it might be Riley Leonard, who actually like didn't look that bad in this game. He wasn't that good, but he looked like somewhat competent. Unlike another backup quarterback we saw today, I'll get to him in a second. That one was disgraceful, but Riley Leonard he was okay. I think he can potentially beat some bad teams, but the problem for the Colts is that they don't have that many bad teams on the horizon. I believe they have nothing but tough opponents. Let's look at their schedule here. They have the Seahawks, then the Niners, then the Jaguars again, then the Texans. That's an awfully tough schedule. Their easiest game is home against the Niners, who are 9-4. So this is going to be very difficult for them to make the playoffs at this point. I think they're done, which is such a shame because they had such a great year to start the season. All right, next one is Seahawks 39, Seahawks 37, Falcons 9. This was 6-6 at halftime, and then Rashid Shaheed returned to kick off, and then Bijan Robinson fumbled in the red zone, and then Kirk Cousins had an interception. It just like unraveled for the Falcons because like they were doing a good job of remaining close to the Seahawks. But they just can't keep up. In Seattle, this is a bad spot for them, but they prevailed and they were pretty impressive in the second half. Not so much first half, but second half they really rallied and were great. So big games coming up for Seattle. Colts not as big because of the quarterback injury, but then they have the Rams 4 days after that. So we'll see who ends up winning the NFC West. I would say the Rams. I would give them the nod, but Seattle is a great team as well, and so they could definitely take that game. It's at home too, so that's going to help them obviously. Next one, and by the way, Kyle Pitts, congratulations to those who followed the Kyle Pitts ladder. We hit the entire ladder with Kyle Pitts over receiving yards. Steelers 27, Ravens 22. Lamar Jackson is just he looks like befuddled right now. I don't know what's going on with him. He can't really run all that well. He's not healthy, and so when you have Lamar who can't run, he's not that good of a quarterback. His football IQ is not that great. It's not terrible, but like he just looks lost sometimes. And then Derrick Henry looks like he's washed up. I don't know. He might be on his last legs here. Maybe he has one more decent season remaining in the tank somehow, but it doesn't look like the case right now. He looks done. So, and speaking of looking done, Aaron Rodgers was that way last week. He completed no passes over the line of scrimmage until the third quarter against Buffalo last week. And first throw, 55-yard bomb to DK Metcalf. This looked like Rodgers circa name the year. I don't know, 2014, 2013, one of those years. He looked incredible at times in this game. I don't know where it came from because he couldn't, like I said, he couldn't complete passes over the line of scrimmage last week. So this is tilting. This is the only big game we lost. I had 4 units on the Ravens. That was a disaster, but luckily we won everything else in terms of our big plays. But yeah, this was really surprising. I thought the Ravens would come back with a win, especially off a long break, given that they played on Thanksgiving and given that they're coming off a loss. And they've dominated Pittsburgh at home with Lamar Jackson, but that wasn't the case here. They looked I don't know. They looked terrible in this game. I did not recognize them at all. At least like I understand if Jackson's hurt, but their defense should play better. But their defense was awful. They couldn't stop Rodgers at all. All right. So next game is Titans 31, Browns 29. For like 2 anemic offenses, this was just like a thriller. There's so many big plays in this game, mostly on offense, but some defense as well. The Titans ended up having a 2-touchdown lead. The Shedeur Sanders came back, but he scored 2 touchdowns, but missed on both 2-point conversions. I don't know what happened on the second one. He was supposed to give the ball up on an end around, and he didn't. It looked like he forgot. Just so weird. And then he just took a big loss on the 2-point conversion. So if they completed one of those, we would have gone to overtime. So we would have had more fun in this game. But yeah, I mean, the Titans, you have to wonder how their fans feel right now. I mean, they won a game and they have to be, like excited that maybe Cam Ward won a game for a change, but they may lose out on having the top pick. And given how good Mendoza looked for Indiana in the Big Ten championship, and also given that Ty Simpson and Dante Moore might return, this would have been a huge haul for the Titans with the number 1 pick. And I don't know if they still have the number 1 pick. I'm going to really quickly check Tankathon. In fact, the Titans have a tougher strength of schedule than the Giants and the Raiders, both of whom have 2 wins as well. So right now, the Giants would have the number 1 pick, and then the Raiders have the number 2 pick. So it would be the Giants getting that big haul instead of the Titans. So this was a potentially very detrimental win for the Titans, unless the Giants or Raiders win. The Giants could win. The Raiders look completely hapless. So, but then again, the Titans did as well. So maybe, I don't know, maybe those teams will win. Look, we still have 4 more games left. But then again, the Titans host the Saints on December 28th. So that could be their 3rd win. So they could be completely out of the running for the top pick, which would, again, be pretty detrimental for them. And we get to the Dolphins 34, Jets 10. This was just a like a heartbreaking game, sort of. Because the Dolphins they were up 21-0 because they were up 14-0, and then Mason Taylor had the ball pop out of his hands for a turnover, and then quickly Miami scored a touchdown. So 21-0 looked like the game was over. The Jets scored a kickoff return, so 21-7, and then Tyrod Taylor got hurt, and he left the game permanently. I was going to bet the Jets team total under, but they didn't rule him out until a long time, until like into the 3rd quarter. Just they kept calling him questionable with a groin. So I wanted to fade Brady Cook, the undrafted free agent for the Jets. He was so bad in this game. I talked about backup quarterbacks coming in and looking okay. Like Riley Leonard looked fine, but Brady Cook looked awful, and the Dolphins were just stuck at 21 points the entire time. It was like 24 points the entire time. Like I thought in the back of my head, I'm like, if Tyrod Taylor were in, like, I feel like he'd be leading a comeback right now. But the Jets had no chance with Brady Cook, so we lost this bet. It was a 2-unit bet, so it wasn't the end of the world. But I thought that the Jets could have had a chance to lead a comeback with Tyrod Taylor, despite going down 21-0. But Brady Cook, he looked atrocious. If Brady Cook starts at any point at the end of the year, we'll see about Taylor and Justin Fields, their statuses for next year. But for next week, if it's Brady Cook, I will automatically fade the Jets no matter what, no matter whom they're playing. He was that bad. And the final game we're talking about, the Vikings 31, Redskins 0. This is another frustrating game because I love the Vikings heading into the week. I talked about it all the time. I talked about it very often throughout the whole week. I was like, the Vikings, J.J. McCarthy has been awful, but he hasn't faced the defense worse than 14th since coming back from injury. And the Redskins were dead last. And I thought this could be a good game for McCarthy, which it was. He started 4-4 for 46 yards and a touchdown on the opening drive. And then he just kept going. He kept scoring. And then I thought, as this was going, I'm like, well, if this is Mariota starting, I'd feel so confident right now, but I can't because it's Jane Daniels, and Daniels could lead a comeback. And Daniels had a good opening drive, but didn't do anything after. And then he got hurt in the 3rd quarter with an elbow injury. So, and then Mariota came in. So I felt very tilted that we didn't get this one. I felt like the Vikings were a great side. They ended up being one. So anyway, those are my initial thoughts. Let me know what you think below. Please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video. Visit the link in the description of the merch store. Visit walterfootball.com for tons of free NFL content. And I'll talk to you in the next video. We're going to do power rankings tomorrow morning / tomorrow night or Monday night / Tuesday morning. So I will talk to you in that video.